As the movie begins, we find ourselves amidst the hustle and bustle of a bustling telesales company, marking the introduction of our main character, Cooper, who arrives late to his workplace. Cooper's feelings towards his job are far from positive, and his interactions with customers often result in blunders. Due to these consistent shortcomings and weird behavior, Cooper quickly catches the attention of his supervisor, Maureen. Deeming his actions unacceptable, Maureen decides Cooper's time at the company must come to an abrupt end. In the midst of this tense confrontation, an unexpected high-pitched noise permeates the atmosphere, leaving both Cooper and Maureen in agony. Unable to withstand the intensity of the sound, the two lose consciousness. Several days elapse before Cooper finally regains his senses, only to discover that his situation has drastically changed. His body is now completely encased in a thick, insect-produced wax. As Cooper takes in his surroundings, it becomes evident that the world has fallen victim to a massive infestation of wasps, which have sinister plans for global domination. The method of their conquest is particularly cruel. They utilize the queen wasp's piercing sound waves to weaken humans, enveloping them in wax and subsequently feeding them to the queen. This gruesome process enables her to produce more eggs and, in turn, more wasps, all part of their grand plan to seize control of the entire planet. In his weakened state, Cooper surveys the office. It is during this exploration that he encounters a wasp descending from the ceiling, poised to attack. Quick on his feet, Cooper grabs a nearby umbrella, using it as a weapon to attack the menacing creature. Having dealt with the immediate threat, Cooper shifts his focus to aiding his trapped colleagues, including Maureen, freeing them from their waxy prisons. In the aftermath, Maureen is struck by a wave of realization and concern for her daughter Sarah. Determined to find her, Maureen hastily exits the building. Sensing the gravity of the situation, Cooper commits to checking on Sarah himself, simultaneously urging Maureen to prioritize her safety and remain indoors. Upon locating Sarah, Cooper diligently works to release her from her wax prison, a task he completes successfully. However, the reunion takes an unexpected turn when a disoriented Sarah, mistaking Cooper for a threat, retaliates with a burst of pepper spray. In a state of sheer panic and urgency, Maureen hastily makes her way to her car, but her escape is short-lived. She soon finds herself swooped up and captured by a wasp descending from the skies above. Following this unsettling incident, Cooper and Sarah find themselves surrounded by an increasing number of these menacing bugs. With a quick mind and her medical expertise, Sarah quickly deduces that these creatures operate primarily on sound, using it to navigate and locate their prey. Acting on this newfound knowledge, she cleverly activates the car alarm, creating a diversion to distract the bugs and seize this moment of chaos to transport Cooper to the safety of a nearby restaurant. Once inside, the pair encounter a diverse group of individuals who have also sought refuge from the relentless swarm: Cindy, Lee, the young deaf teenager Hugo, and his father Albert, along with PJ, Roger, and Tom. Together, they engage in a heated discussion, strategizing on the most effective course of action to escape these persistent bugs. Tom, taking on a leadership role, asserts that the safest option is for everyone to stay put and avoid drawing attention to themselves. However, not everyone is in agreement. Despite the warnings and advice from the rest of the group, Roger and PJ decide to take matters into their own hands. They hastily climb into Roger's truck, determined to make a swift escape. Their plan, however, takes a dire turn. Not long after departing, Roger is viciously attacked by a wasp, resulting in the truck spiraling out of control. In a desperate bid to save himself, PJ makes the decision to jump from the moving vehicle, only to meet a tragic end as he is subsequently crushed by it. Meanwhile, back at the restaurant, Tom falls victim to a stealthy bug. With no other option, the survivors make a collective decision to flee, seeking refuge within the confines of a nearby building. From their newfound vantage point atop the building, the group's fears are realized as they witness a massive swarm of wasps converging upon their location. It is at this critical moment that Leechy shares a vital observation. These bugs are in fact blind, navigating solely through sound. Seizing this opportunity, the group devises a plan to trap one of the bugs, using radio noise as bait. With a bug successfully trapped, 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐜 proposes an idea to extract venom from the creature for further study. As night falls, she shares her findings with the rest of the group, revealing that the venom contains both sedatives meant to weaken their prey and proteins directly from their queen, providing a glimmer of hope for understanding and combating these terrifying creatures. After much deliberation and planning, the group collectively decides to embark on a dangerous journey to the nearest military base located in Gibson, hoping to find refuge and assistance there. Along the way, they also plan to make stops at their respective family homes, ensuring the safety and well-being of their loved ones. For the time being, they resolve to spend their time in the safety of the building, taking turns standing guard against the bugs while the rest of the group catches some much-needed rest. As they prepare for the night ahead, Cooper finds himself wrestling with his growing affections for Sarah. Later in the night, during his turn on watch, Cooper is approached by Cindy. She reveals her own feelings for Cooper, only to be gently rejected, as Cooper's heart seems to be set on Sarah. As dawn breaks and the group readies themselves for the journey ahead, 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐜 makes a bold decision. She chooses to stay behind, feeling a sense of responsibility to awaken as many survivors as possible and determined to further her study of the wasps. She believes that by doing so, she might uncover crucial information that could aid in their fight against the infestation. With 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐜's blessings, the rest of the group proceeds with the original plan, making their way towards the military base. Their first stop is Hugo and Albert's house, as they aim to check in on Hugo's mother and ensure her safety. Upon their arrival at Hugo's residence, the group is met with a heavy air of sorrow as they make the heartbreaking discovery that Hugo's mother has sadly lost her life. In the wake of this tragedy, Albert, grappling with his own emotions, manages to find strength within himself. He takes a gun, gearing up for whatever challenges lie ahead, and urges the group to press forward, knowing there's no time to lose. Their next destination leads them to Cindy's house, where they intend to check on the welfare of her brother Chad and sister-in-law Susan. With a sense of urgency, Cindy quickly gets to work, managing to wake Susan up from her entrapment in an insect wax. However, their relief is short-lived as Chad, now horrifically mutated into a wasp-like creature, makes a sudden and violent appearance. In a frenzy, Chad attacks, mercilessly stabbing Susan to death. The group is thrown into chaos, with Sarah knocked unconscious and Cindy seized by Chad. In a moment of sheer bravery, Cooper springs into action, managing to rescue Cindy just in the nick of time, though not without sustaining a serious injury himself, a deep wound in his leg. With combined effort, Hugo and Albert are able to subdue and ultimately kill Chad, putting an end to the immediate threat. Exhausted and in need of rest, the team decides to set up camp at Cindy's house for the night. Sarah, showing her medical skills once again, assists Cooper by sewing up his wound, providing him with much-needed care. Meanwhile, Albert is hit with a sudden feeling of pain in his abdomen, a worrying sign that suggests he might be undergoing a mutation similar to Chad's. Later on, Cindy, still nursing her feelings for Cooper, decides to visit him. This time, however, Cooper is direct, making it abundantly clear that he has no romantic interest in her. His straightforwardness leaves Cindy feeling both hurt and angry, adding another layer of tension to the group's dynamic. As a new day dawns, the group gathers their strength and continues on their journey, now heading towards Cooper's dad's place. Along the way, Sarah shares her thoughts with Cooper, expressing her belief that her mother, Maureen, might still be alive, perhaps kept somewhere by the bugs, much like a hive. She reveals her intentions to Cooper, stating that after visiting his father, she does not plan to head to Gibson as initially planned. Instead, she is determined to go directly to the heart of the infestation, the bug's nest, in a bold and risky move to uncover the truth and, hopefully, find her mother. Out of the blue, a swarm of wasps suddenly takes flight above the group, causing panic and chaos. The team, acting quickly, manages to find refuge under a nearby bridge, hoping to stay out of sight and avoid the wasps' attention. In the midst of this tense situation, Cooper and Sarah instinctively grab each other's hands, seeking comfort in the small gesture. Cindy, witnessing this intimate moment, is overcome with jealousy. Unable to contain her emotions, she recklessly steps out from their hiding place and starts shouting. Her actions put everyone in grave danger. Realizing the severity of the situation, Albert takes immediate action, shooting Cindy in the chest to stop her irrational behavior. Though Cindy is stopped, the sound of the gunshot reverberates through the air, catching the attention of the wasps. In the chaos that ensues, Sarah is captured. With heavy hearts and the weight of recent events upon them, the remaining trio, Cooper, Hugo, and Albert, press forward, eventually reaching Cooper's house. Here, they are greeted by Cooper's father, Ethan, who welcomes them into his home. As they share a meal together, a moment of apparent calm, the mood suddenly shifts when Albert reveals he is mutating. Faced with no other choice, Hugo, heartbreakingly following Albert's previous instructions for such a dire situation, takes it upon himself to shoot Albert, ending his life to protect the others. The gunshot, however, does not go unnoticed. Another bug, drawn by the noise, enters through the window. Quick-thinking Ethan manages to kill it using a taser, a strategic move to avoid creating any more loud noises that might attract further attention. As more bugs begin to swarm their location, the urgency of the situation escalates. The trio, led by Ethan, make a hasty retreat to his long-established shelter, seeking safety from the onslaught of wasps. They spend a restless night in the bunker, grappling with the events of the day and contemplating their next move. Come morning, Cooper, driven by determination and a sense of responsibility, tries to convince Ethan to accompany him to the wasp nest to rescue Sarah. Ethan, however, is strongly opposed to the idea, recognizing it as a bad mission and expressing his concerns. Frustrated and angry, Cooper decides to set out on his own, leaving the safety of the house. Before he goes, he turns to Hugo, advising him to stay with Ethan, believing it to be the safer option for the young teenager in these dangerous times. As Cooper makes his way towards the wasp nest, he unexpectedly crosses paths with a mysterious, heavily armed man. Before he knows it, he finds himself confined within the walls of a makeshift prison. The armed group, suspicious and paranoid, firmly believe that Cooper is infected and on the verge of undergoing a mutation. Locked away, Cooper's situation takes a turn when he encounters an older man. This elder figure shares a fascinating tale about 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐜, a brave soul who managed to rescue him and several others from the menacing grip of the wasps. In an unexpected twist of fate, Hugo and Ethan find themselves captured and thrown into the prison alongside Cooper. It becomes evident that Ethan had been stung earlier, and in a desperate bid to secure their freedom, he takes a young girl hostage, issuing a clear demand to the armed group for Cooper's release. Just as the tension reaches its peak, the elderly man in the prison transforms into a mutant creature and launches an attack on the girl. Seizing the moment of chaos, Ethan bravely confronts the other members of the armed group, managing to save Hugo and Cooper in the process. Now reunited and fueled by a renewed sense of purpose, the trio decide to throw their lot in with Cooper's original plan. They arm themselves with weapons and bombs scavenged from the armed group, preparing for the final confrontation. To save precious time, they opt to ride bikes instead of walking, speeding towards the heart of danger, the wasp nest. Meanwhile, deep within the nest, Sarah slowly regains consciousness, only to be met with a sight of pure horror. She witnesses the Bug Queen, grotesque and terrifying, as it consumes the bodies wrapped in wasp wax. Stunned and horrified, Sarah realizes the gravity of her situation. Back on their dangerous journey, Cooper, Hugo, and Ethan finally reach the colossal bug hive. They quickly formulate a plan, deciding to strategically place the bombs around the area with a singular goal in mind: to annihilate the wasps and put an end to their reign of terror once and for all. In the intense moments following Ethan's feeling of abdominal pain, a clear sign of impending mutation, the gravity of the situation becomes undeniable. Realizing that time is of the essence and his transformation is inevitable, Ethan makes a swift and selfless decision. He secures Cooper to a tree and renders Hugo unconscious, deciding to sacrifice himself to bring an end to the wasp hive. Leaving the keys behind for Cooper and Hugo to make their escape when the time is right, Ethan bravely makes his way into the heart of the hive. Inside, he stumbles upon Sarah, who quickly guides him to the Queen's lair. Cooper and Hugo, regaining their senses, waste no time in making their way to the hive. Driven by determination and a desire to help, they manage to find Ethan just in time to witness the onset of a fierce battle against the Queen. The Queen, feeling threatened, unleashes a deafening and high-pitched noise designed to call for backup from the other wasps. The group is overwhelmed by the noise, all except for Hugo, who, due to his deafness, is immune to the Queen's sonic attack. Seizing the moment, Hugo courageously throws a bomb directly into the Queen's mouth. Ethan, fully aware of the stakes and the limited time remaining, urges the trio to leave, insisting on triggering the bomb himself. However, just as they prepare to make their escape, Ethan's mutation takes hold, transforming him into a half-human, half-wasp creature. Faced with an impossible decision, Cooper takes it upon himself to press the detonator, sacrificing his father to ensure the destruction of the Queen and the hive. The explosion rocks the nest, and in the nick of time, Sarah and Hugo manage to drag Cooper to safety. Several days later, Cooper finds himself in a hospital bed, regaining consciousness. With Hugo and Sarah by his side, the movie draws to a close, leaving a sense of closure and relief. Despite the immense sacrifices and the heart-wrenching loss they endured, the group successfully put an end to the infestation, ensuring the safety of humanity. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.